Today I'm with Coach Andre McCallum and his son Nino, who's one of the top US amateurs in his age bracket in the country. It's a great pleasure to speak to you both again. How are you both doing?
Doing real good. It's the weekend. We just came back Friday. We had a big fight that he won. So we're just getting back in the mix, getting prepared for the big tournament in December.
Now, the last time I spoke to you, Nino, you was 12 years old and you was ranked number 4 in the country. This was 18 months ago. What's happened in those 18 months since I last spoke to you?
In those 18 months, I got ranked number 1 at one-on-one in our age 2 years.
So I watched some of those fights actually because your dad put the links on Instagram and I saw you in the quarters and the semis and you boxed fantastic.
It was a great tournament. We were 100% healthy, excited. We had to fight 4 people. At this point, he trained so much, I don't even know if he remembers all the fights, but I definitely remember the first day. We actually fought a guy they made the 2 people with the most experience of the tournament fight each other. So normally they'll do a seeding where the top guys won't meet until the end. This year they did it different, and they had the 2 most experienced people fight. So our championship fight was literally the very first fight. And I knew it. I told him, I said, you get through this, the rest of the tournament, each fight is going to be easier and easier and easier. And literally each fight got easier for him.
Had you boxed him before, Nino?
No.
No. Was that the favourite fight in the tournament for you, or was it the final?
Yeah, it was my favorite fight in the beginning.
Good job, Nino. Good job. Good job.
Good work, baby. You the champ. Told you he was the best. So what happens when you listen? You did everything you were supposed to do. Everything you were supposed to do.
Now, when I've been watching Nino on the bags and some of the clips you put on, he looks like he's punching much harder. Have you adjusted his style at all, Dad?
Yeah, I think he's getting older, and I think that we've been working on him stepping into his punches. And when we work on it, I see him do it right away. So literally, we'll practice it, and next thing you know, he'll be sparring and fighting, and I see him actually doing it. So just working on him, just not throwing arm punches, punching using his legs, stepping through with the shots. And we've also been doing a lot of work with weights. These weights have been allowing him to be faster and with a lot more intensity, a lot more power. Beautiful, Nino.
And you've been getting some hard sparring at East End Boxing Club, haven't you? How hard is it, Nino, to keep motivated? You've been boxing a long time now. How hard is it to keep motivating yourself to go through that training, not just the fighting, the training as well?
Well, for me, it's pretty easy because I just like boxing. So I could like go ahead in the gym every day and do it.
Yeah, we're growing in the sport, and it's things that we need to work on in order for him to be a complete fighter. So it's not like he's in the gym just doing the same things over and over and over again and kind of getting burnt out and tired. We do take the right amount of breaks that's necessary. So after tournaments, we might take a month off. But when we get back in the gym and we start camp, it's almost like we're working on something new, maybe something that we saw in the previous fight that would have made that fight easier, or something that I know he needs to work on before he does run into it. So he's always constantly growing. So it's not so much as if we're doing the same thing to the point that it's boring.
Now, when I interview people around the world, Nino, I've got to say, your dad, Andre, comes across as a very positive and driven person. Is he a role model for you? And does that help you in your boxing? What does he mean to you?
Well, yeah, he is a role model to me. He's the one who got me into boxing. He used to box when he was younger. So that's what got me into boxing for real.
And does he help lift you up when you have the setbacks? And because you have got that positive vibe about you, Andre. And where does that come from?
It comes from understanding without failure, there is no success. In order to have success, you got to embrace failure. You got to learn from mistakes. So just recently, when we were at the Junior Olympic tournament, Nino ended up getting sick, and they had him as the #1 seed. They had him chosen to win the tournament, and we got sick. We already had the flights paid, already had the Airbnb booked, already spent 2 months in camp. I said, let's just go and give it our best. And after the fight started, I saw it and he saw it that he just wasn't the same. The sickness didn't allow his body to perform the way that he normally does to dominate the fight. And you know what I told him? I said, you know what? At the end of the fight, I hugged him. I said, don't worry. I told him, I said, tell the other kid, great job. We just learned how to fight even when you're sick. So no matter what, we're always learning. There is no losses. There are only lessons. We're always figuring out what we can do next time to be more prepared for that situation.
And you've been an amateur boxer as well. Do you think the values Nino's learning now have helped you in life, never mind boxing? And do you want those values to pass on to him outside of the sport?
Yeah. And you know what? That's the purpose of it. We don't know what's going to happen with boxing. He can get into entrepreneurship, and he'll still have the same mindset of work hard, never stop believing, don't give up. Outwork the competition, get better every single day, embrace failure. He'll have these qualities no matter what he does in life.
And Nino, you have reached the top of the amateur sport in your age group. You've got every quality as an amateur boxer now. What advice would you give to those young boxers who are looking up to you, especially at East End Boxing Club? What advice would you give to them?
I would say stay in the gym, listen to your coaches, work out every day.
And how many times a week do you train?
Like if it's tournament time, I would say like 4 days a day, a week. But when I'm just chilling, I'll do like 3 days a week.
What advice would you give them to deal with any setbacks? Because you see a lot of people stop boxing when it doesn't go their way. What advice would you give them?
It's to for someone just to help them, get back in the gym. Because when people lose, they stop trying to fight. They just give up after they start losing a lot.
Yeah, the losses don't mean anything right now. They're basically amateurs. They're not professionals. They're not getting paid to fight right now. Right now, they're perfecting the craft and perfecting the skill. They need to learn how to box without getting hurt. They need to learn how to come forward and be an aggressive fighter. They need to learn how to use the jab and win with a jab just in case they hurt their hand. There's so many things that they need to learn in an amateur so that if they do take professional boxing seriously, when it is their time to shine and they get that championship opportunity, they're ready for it. Like how many people get the opportunity to be champions and then somebody falls short? It can only be one winner. So you got to prepare yourself now so that when that day comes, you're victorious. And that's what we focus on every single day. It's just learning and getting better. There is no such thing as quitting. If you quit this and you're going to do something else, and as soon as times get hard, you're going to quit that also. So I always let him know that losing doesn't mean anything. It's about what can we have done better? What can we learn from that situation? That's the only thing that matters.
And the last time I spoke to you, other role models that I talked about was the Grandy twins. And they've moved away, haven't they? They've moved to Houston. Are you still managing to get to spar with them and support them?
We still support them. I haven't taken them to Houston spar. But we plan on doing it over the next few months, actually connecting with them maybe in October or November and getting some sparring because they're growing in size. So it'll be really, really good work.
Now, Nino, it's very early to say. You're still very young, but you've got the qualities already that would, stand you in good stead to be a professional fighter. Even at this age, you can see you've got the qualities, you've got everything. Is that in your mind, or are you just enjoying the sport as an amateur at the moment?
Well, I'm enjoying the sport as an amateur at the moment, but I really think I should go pro.
Say Nino Mccallum's defending his undisputed world championship. Where would it be? Which venue would you like?
Say where you want to fight at?
I really want to go to Japan.
he said Japan.
I've never heard that one before. Normally it's like Madison Square Garden or Las Vegas. Is there much professional boxing in Richmond?
Yeah, it is. In the entire DMV area, from Virginia, Maryland, DC. It's a huge boxing, especially professional background here.
Now, I'm going to pick your brains now, talking about professional boxing. Nino, you first. This is a matchup that may happen between two US boxers. And tell me how you think it'd go. I'll go Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis.
I think Javante will win though, because like he's way bigger. So I think he would just put the pressure on Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia has a lot of speed and he can move. So I'm not really sure though.
It's a good fight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good fight.
Yeah, I think I go with you. I'll go with Davis for that one. Andre Spence Crawford.
It's a tough one. I don't think there's going to be any knockouts. I think these two are the best. They're the best of the best. They're at the best of their skill. They're not going to make too many mistakes, and they're great. They're really great athletes. I believe it'll be 12 rounds. And if I had to pick one, man, I'm going to go ahead and say Errol Spence.
Errol Spence, yeah, I think I'd edge with Errol Spence. He's very busy, isn't he? But it's a very tough fight to call, that one, isn't it? Really tough.
Really tough, because I love Terrence Crawford and I love Errol Spence. I would root for them against anybody else. But when I look at Spence, Spence is pretty much perfect. He does everything the right way. Boxing, coming forward, using his jab, body shots. He made one mistake with Ugas. Ugas landed the big shot, knocked him into the ropes, but then he finished the fight off in tremendous fashion. But Terrence Crawford, again, very strong. He can switch southpaw, switch orthodox. It's just going to be a tough fight, but I just think Errol Spence I think Errol Spence will end up pulling it out.
And another one, your favorite active fighter?
Is it Canelo? Is it Terrence Crawford? Is it Tank? Is it Ryan Garcia?
Who's the fighter that if it's on television, you've got to see it? Or so not all boxers are into watching boxing though, are they? My son never watched much boxing. Where I'd watch every fight. He had 70 odd fights, and I could barely get him to watch it.
That's literally Nino. I mean, Nino, when he's not boxing himself, he's like, I want to be a kid. So he's playing his video game. He's hanging out with his family. I'm like, hey, son, come watch Shakur Stevenson fight. Come watch him. And he'll come watch for a little bit. But if I'm not paying attention, he'll sneak off again. So he's literally having a hard time because he hasn't really been watching it. So who do you say was your actor?
I would say Canelo because I've been watching most of his fights. And what I like about him is that he's good at keeping his distance too. And he punches hard.
Last time I asked you, you said not active now, obviously. You said Sugar Ray Leonard, didn't you? He was one of them. And Roy Jones. And you have got similar style. You've got great movement, great balance. And now you're punching harder as well. You've got great distance and good defense. I mean, your dad, you've done a good job, Dad. He is almost, I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you, but he's almost a complete amateur boxer. Obviously, he never stopped working and putting the effort in, but you've got all those attributes that they've got. So it's going to be great to watch it. And Andre, what about you? Active fighter, which one do you like?
I would say my top three active fighters would go Errol Spence. Even though Canelo lost to Bivol, I still say Canelo and Terrence Crawford. I would say those are my three favorite actors.
And Nino, going back to you, what has been your favorite amateur moment so far?
Winning tournaments is my favorite moment. And when I get done weighing in, I can eat. It's like the best.
Is there one fight in particular that you think about? Is there one where you just felt like everything came together?
I will say the fight I had when I forgot what tournament it was. Exactly when you said championship was in the beginning.
Yeah,
I like that fight the most because like he was like perfect for me to fight.
And coach, what about you? Which of his performances has give you the most satisfaction?
You know what? The tournament that gives me the most satisfaction was in 2019. He won the Christy Martin National Tournament, and he got most outstanding fighter. We went up against a kid that was older than us. Look, it seemed like he was more mature. I was watching him work out and hit the mitts, and this was one of the first times that I was watching a kid hit the mitts, and I was going, "This might be a tough fight for Nino." And when I tell you, Nino already knew he was going to win. He was so confident. He got into the ring and he looked like he had already arrived. Like he couldn't be touched. The guy couldn't hit him. He was landing beautiful shots. He was making the guy miss. He just looked amazing, and that's how he got outstanding fighter of the tournament. And he was only maybe 11 or 12 years old. So I'll never forget that fight. Sometimes I get the highlights on my phone and I see it again, and I'm just like, if he looks like this at this age, I can just imagine how he's going to look when he's 16, 17. I can just imagine.
Yeah, you are showing a lot of talent. And another boxer that I interviewed who's on the US team now is a fantastic one to watch. He's called Amari Jones, and he got silver in the World Championships. That's just gone, but he'll be a big star in boxing. He's from Florida and he boxes like Roy Jones, so watch out for him, Amari Jones.
Okay.
What's your plans for next season? What do you want to do in this? I know the season's just finished, but for the next one?
I'm gonna keep working hard, and when the time comes for the tournament, I'm gonna end up winning that tournament.
Yeah, we have in December. See, Nino is an intermediate now, and he's ranked #1 at intermediate. But in December, he moves up to junior for the first time. So our biggest focus right now is, oh, and by the way, when he wins the tournament in December, he'll officially be on Team USA. So he'll be on Team USA, and he can go to the camps, and he can also fight in international competition. So our biggest focus right now, we got 2 fights in August. September, we're going to keep training. October, we're going to get in camp, get really, really good in shape. And then in November, we're going to travel the country and spar the best national champions that's a little bit older than us and weigh a little bit more, so they can have the edge and we can just continue growing. Come December, we're going to win that tournament.
And how do you look forward to that, Nino? Going for that US team, training at Chula Vista and Colorado Springs.
It will be very different because I'm not gonna be with him, but I think it'll be fun just like going there and meeting people and fighting on like a real big team.
At this point, all the things that I've been working with him on since he was 6, so we're talking 8 years, it's nothing that a coach or someone will be able to make him forget in a few months. So even though I won't be in the corner with him, he'll hear my voice always. He'll always hear my voice. He'll always remember the stuff that I taught him. And I'm actually excited because I can't wait for him to get there and for the USA boxing coaches to see how already advanced he is, because they have a hit and don't get hit type of ideology there. And that's all we've been working on forever. So he's going to go right in and pick up and be one of the best doing a hit and don't get hit. They're going to love him.
Well, thank you so much for letting me speak to you again. Andre, good luck with the coaching, but good luck with your music as well. I watched a couple of your videos. Are you still doing the music?
Yeah, a little bit. I've been focused on my insurance company, but whenever I get some downtime, I'll do some music.
And Nino, I'm not just saying this, I think you're a special talent and you're going to go a long way in this sport. So keep working hard and all the best. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.